welcome to Focus on B, the video series where I spent about 20 or so minutes playing and talking about a game that I've either been thinking about, or a game that I've been playing, or a game that maybe I haven't played in a long time. This is Sonic Forces. We live in a world where Sonic Frontiers exists, and Shadow Generations exists too. And, you know, there's also the rest of the Sonic games, whatever. So, this game is in a very awkward position. Because when it came out, it was marketed as this... It was the game made by the people who made Generations in Colors. When in reality, I don't even know if any of the level designers reprised their roles. I would have to check the credits again, I'm not sure. But this game, let's just say when it came out, its reception wasn't the most favorable. Did it deserve that kind of reception? You know, actually, looking back, I almost want to... 16-year-old me is going to be real pissed, but I almost want to say it did. Even back then, even when the game came out, I was 16 years old, and I still saw through the issues. Like, I saw the issues. That's the thing. I saw through the facade of, well, boosting like a maniac and it's all cool. No. I knew the levels were too fucking short. And I always wondered, why do they feel so short? Because the thing is, even back then, even before... Because Frontiers has really short levels, but they're still really fun. No one really complains about it. And then I realized, well, it's the amount of content and the amount of what you're doing in the level. My hand is nowhere near the keyboard. Right there you go. Now I have to play. You see that right there is part of the issue. Wait, there you go. I win. I personally am not one to completely just lambaste the fucking game when it's like, oh, boost to win. That's all you do is hold the button down. Well, I know if the levels are well designed, if it's fun, like Sonic Unleashed, for example, or even Generations to an extent. The problem with this game's design particularly isn't the short length of the levels, because again, there's plenty of Sonic games that have actually gotten really good reviews that have mega short levels. That's not primarily the problem. Let's go into another stage real quick. It's the fact that there's so much downtime. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Well, actually, it was more so 7 or so seconds of no gameplay right there. I was not doing a damn thing at that point. 1, 2. Okay, that was another 2 seconds. There is so much fucking downtime in this game. Anytime I look back at my least favorite levels in any game, especially be it a Sonic game, I will always wonder, why are they my least favorite? Are they really badly designed? Are they too long? Are they too short? Are they frustrating? And then I find a common thread. They will usually have too much downtime. For example, way back in a million years ago when I made my Shadow the Hedgehog video, I still am, like, I remember I didn't really like Cosmic Fall, and I still don't like it that much, despite the awesome, cool metal music and the really awesome premise, because half the level is just sitting there waiting for a fucking platform to fall. This game is almost like every level is that, but they're varied. I gotta give this game credit for one thing, though. And it's the fact that it was able to transform these familiar locations in a way that I truly feel makes them different. I don't look at this and think, oh yeah, it's Chemical Plant from Sonic the Hedgehog 2, released in 1992 for the Sega Genesis / Mega Drive, depending on where you live. No, I see Spaceport. That's what this level is. Not the Duke Nukem one, but just Spaceport. With the music, it's totally different. And the visuals. Now here's another issue with this game that I have, and I think pretty much everyone had, and this is why Frontiers succeeded and Shadow is... Oh, dude, Shadow Generations is so fucking good! Anyway, Sonic fanboys on the side, though. But really, it's so good. And you know why? Because it doesn't have this. I'm currently not engaged in gameplay. Now, Shadow does have moments that are kind of like this, admittedly, like the bits with Black Doom, but they're so much more brief. And you get like this cool transformation of the level. Here it's just like, oh, okay, hold on. Level, I did a game right there. I think I played the game. Oh, dude, the music is so fucking good, though. Sorry. You know, that guy actually did the vocals for most of the music in Gran Turismo 5 and 6, especially 5. Yeah, did you know that? John Undertown, I think his name is. That guy, he's a really good singer. Anyway, where was I? It's the downtime. That's what kills a lot of these levels. It's why, weirdly enough, I feel that the classic Sonic stages, which people absolutely fucking annihilated when this game came out, and almost because it came out the same year as like the best classic revival ever, you know, Mania. Yeah. Look, funnily enough, I think they've actually aged pretty well, those levels, the classic levels. We're gonna get to one right now, actually, right after we complete the stage. You know why it's aged so well? Because it doesn't have this. 1, 2, oh, there you go. Actual gameplay. Right? It doesn't, they don't have any downtime. Well, okay, they do have a bit of downtime, but it's like nothing in comparison, right? You still are primarily in control throughout most of the experience. More downtime, there you go. There's so much of these levels that you don't actually play, and that would be okay. Because there's a lot of colors that you don't actually play. There's a lot of Unleashed. Oh, so much of Unleashed that you don't really play. There's a lot of Generations that you don't even play. There's a lot of Frontiers that you don't really play. There's a lot of Shadow that you don't really play. That's an element of the Sonic series. That's an element of a lot of games. You know, if every game ever made required you to constantly be playing, it would be a little bit exhausting, especially with the kind of ridiculous things that most protagonists in games are. Imagine if you're playing fucking Metal Gear Rising and the game expects you to control the individual feet on the character on... I don't know his name. What was his name? Raiden? I don't know. He seems like he'd be called that. When he's climbing up a giant monster guy or some shit. It's like, no, of course, some elements of control are taken away for the sake of the game flowing well and being fun to play on the whole. But it goes a little too far sometimes, and here it's, right now, with Classic, actually, it's totally cool. That's the thing. I actually feel the Classic stages have aged pretty well here. Are they better than Mania's? Well, this one's original. I like that a lot, and I like the music. Screw you. I don't mind the sound font, and I think it actually, like, the compositions are super strong, super memorable. A lot of people complain about this game's music being too forgettable. He said it had a similar issue with Shadow the Hedgehog. I don't know, maybe I'm not in the right position to be talking about this because I'm a musician, so naturally I kind of have an ear for this shit, and stuff gets stuck in my head really easily. Literally, I had not played this game for several years, and yet I would always just be able to hum anything from it. You know, I would just randomly go do 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 do. You know, that's from classic Def Egg, I think, or do 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 do. You know, fucking that's modern Def Egg. I think it was called Egg Gate, right? Actually, I think that leads us on pretty well to a discussion about the whole 2D versus 3D thing, because I know a lot of people also have, it's still to this day, have an issue with the way Sonic handles 2D and 3D. Now, as of late, Sonic games have been doing something pretty interesting. They've been completely separating the two. Like in Frontiers and in Shadow, you will have only stages that are fully 3D or fully 2D. This is the last Sonic game to not do that. This game will have a 3D section, as you can see right here, and then it'll do a 2D section, right? And then it'll maybe do another 3D section. And people seem to seriously dislike the fact that, especially with this game, with the inclusion of Classic Sonic, it felt redundant, because it's like, well, Classic's here for the 2D, not the Avatar. Personally, I don't mind that too much. I don't have a problem with the levels occasionally breaking up into 2D. In fact, you know what? My least favorite level in the game is one that doesn't have a single 2D section. And it's Martyr Canyon. Yes, I know, the fully 3D one, the one that a lot of people actually praised. It's one of the few stages in the game where the too short issue genuinely just irks the fuck out of me. Like, it really does just slap. It's like a dick in the face. You got this awesome climactic music going on, and if you play the level normally, you don't even get to the sick-ass bridge, like the piano and bass breakdown section with the beautiful part on top with the fucking piano, dun 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 dun, and it's so good, and you never hear it if you play through the level normally. If you're like OCD and shit and stop and collect every single ring and go for all the different pathways, sure. In fact, for a while when this game was still new, I was obsessed with trying to squeeze every last bit of blood out of the levels in this game. Really, just stopping and going. If I'm going to show you exactly what I'm talking about. I still have this video on my channel, actually. It's quite old now. Oh my god, it reminds me of when I was a child. I mean, I was like, what, like 17 when I made that video, I think. And it's, let's do basically the most infamous level in the game. I'll show you why it's infamous if you're not in the know. Here's why this level basically shaped this game's fate. I'm now holding down the boost button. I'm still holding down the boost button. I will now proceed to press the jump button once. I've pressed it a second time. I've pressed it a third time. Oh, I've stopped for a bit. I've pressed boost. I've stopped. My right hand is nowhere near the arrow keys right now. I'm now holding down the boost button again. Now, admittedly, this section you gotta be a little bit careful, because the boost pads won't save you completely. If you boost too much, you will fall off. But as you can see, I haven't touched any directions. I've just been boosting. And evidently, this seems to have caused quite a bit of controversy, this decision to make the level designed this way. And here's the thing, you know how I've devised a route, a way to play this level that just gets the most out of it. And I'm going to show you what it is right now. I'm going to show you my thought process. So I realized this game's problem isn't the linearity or the lack of alternate pathways. This game has a lot of alternate pathways. But I feel like they're too short, and we really should have instead doubled down on one long pathway. Because look, here's how long this section is if you go through all that it has to offer. Get all the collectibles. If you play this shit like Banjo-fucking-Kazooie, right? Didn't I already say this earlier? Yeah, this game really benefits from getting the collectibles. I feel that... Oh, I died in a Sonic Forces level. I think I need to give away my... Okay, whatever. Anyway, I feel like the developers probably realized at some point in development, probably late, that the levels are super short, right? And you don't really have too much in the way of platforming challenges. So what do? Collectibles. Well, we already have the red rings because it's a given. But wait a second, don't we have those number rings from Sonic Lost World? Throw them in there, sure. And let's make hey, weren't we gonna have like... Well, no, the game wasn't ever gonna have a currency system or anything, but it was gonna have an upgrade system. Did you know that? Like, it already kind of does, but no, it was gonna have like a stat level up system. Seriously, check out some like early, like beta concept material for the game. You'll see it. See this? Look what I'm doing here. I'm going through the middle section and the top section as well. And now I'm going to stop, go back down, so I can get all of the rings through here. Essentially, I try and maximize as much as I can out of this level. And now, barring that death, to be fair, I still have been in the level for much longer. Most people would be done with the stage by now. I'm going for this alternate pathway, which isn't very substantial either. And then what I'll do is, let me see, I actually don't do it too often in this section, but I think what I'll typically do here is I will actually take these guys out, get the red ring, and run back, just so that I can experience this section as well. It became an obsession for me to try and just really extend these levels like on a fucking stretcher as much as I can. Play through as many of the different pathways, and it's because of that that I have a very autistic level of understanding of every single level in this game. Like, really, no one should know these levels this well, apart from maybe this one modder, Infinite Force. Man, I haven't heard from him in a while, or any of the modding. Unless you're a modder for this game, you should not have my level of knowledge of these stages, because it is extensive. Because I try to just get as much out of them as I can, especially the ones that I like the most. Right? There's actually a whole section I just skipped there. If you back up a bit, there's exactly, I think there's 3 egg pawns that you can take out. That's actually one thing about this game I kind of like, though. The minimalist design for the egg pawns, because it makes sense in the context of the story. I know they primarily did that so they don't have to make unique models for every level like they used to. Well, not models, but unique, different like looking versions of them and stuff. But it makes sense for the story, because like the Eggman is trying to actually take over, so he's mass producing them. He doesn't have time to give them funny personalities. But anyway, hey, it's Splash Hill Zone, guys. Remember this level? Oh my fucking god, this is like the epitome of this game. It's classic with the ear rape synth that I like. I really like the melody. I think it's, again, just compositionally, classic Sonic stuff in this game is super strong. So catchy. Do 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 do. You know, when I played this game recently, I had not heard this composition for years, and it just all came coming back. Again, this level, for example. You actually don't want to... Well, no. I will proceed. I'm basically just going to give you, like, a run-through of, like, everything you can do. So what you're going to want to do to get the absolute... I'm fucking Big Mac Davising this shit, you know what I mean? So what you're going to want to do to get the absolute most out of this stage is first... Oh, no. Ah, damn it. There's this whole top section. Fuck. Okay, whatever. So there's this loop-to-loop. We're going to want to go for the loop just so we can get the... See, there's this top section up there that I... Oh, damn it, that I missed. Doesn't matter. Now what you're going to want to do is go all the way back over here, you see? Look, I've already been in the level for about a minute. Which is, like, as you just saw earlier, my record for this level is 1 minute and 4 seconds. Right? I'm not even sure what the overall speed run time is. But as I said, the game does have those speed run missions that you have to complete, which I think are cool because the developers were very much aware of how short the levels were. So you got these Badnik bouncing sections. Now you're going to want it. This next bit is completely linear. Fun fact, early on in the game's development, there was no low pass filter that applies when you go through this next section. No, I'm going to fucking get you, bitch. Get it. Yes. Listen. That wasn't always the case. They added that later on. I like that. In fact, I really like this whole section. I think it's really, really cool looking. Now, what you're going to want to do is, before you explore this area, you're going to want to go here, get the invincibility, run through all these enemies, where you could do, through until the battle's won. Anyway, then you're going to want to go back now, so you can explore this section. You see what I mean? Just squeezing blood from a stone, trying to get as much playability out of this game as possible, and it was honestly fun, because for as many flaws as this game has, I think me playing it and trying to enjoy it as much as possible, it really gave me a ton of insight into the building blocks of game development and what makes levels replayable, what makes them fun, what makes them feel long, what makes them feel short. You get what I mean? Again, it's not about how long the level actually is, it's about how long it feels and how substantial it feels. Again, like with Frontiers, those levels are actually... Most levels in Frontiers are shorter than this. I just spent about double the length of your average Frontier stage right here. But I still don't feel like I've done much. Whereas in Frontiers, I'll run through a fucking 1.5-minute long level and I'll be like, fuck yeah, that was awesome. I love that. Here it's like, oh, it's pretty cool. I mean, let's play the poster boy level. We all know this. Look at this. 1 fucking minute. Again, I'm now going to play through the stage at a reasonable length, as you would say. As in, because I had this thing way back in the day where it's like, how to make this level in Sonic Forces a reasonable length. What I meant by that was just get as much out of it as possible. So again, what I would do is, I would go over here, and then stop, turn around. I've never done a video on this level in particular, but if I were to, I'd probably do it this way. I would stop, get as much shit over here as possible, while still trying to be fast. That's the tricky part. You know, still trying to collect everything as quickly as possible, while not necessarily just slowing down and picking it up bit by bit. Because that's fun. And the thing is, there are 2 ways to make this game very fun, actually. One of them is to just ultra speed run it and try and... because that's always fun, inherently, because it's a Sonic game. But the other way, it really is to just try and squeeze as much out of the level as possible, right? Kill all these guys here, and here's something that I noticed. In Shadow Generations, because this Shadow Generations has this level in the game, they changed this. And this is the most just retarded detail, I swear to God. Like, my brain clearly does not function normally if I remember this. Watch. Shadow does not react that way. Sonic here has this weird rounding thing going on with his hitbox where he kind of curves, right? Like how he goes around the curve. Also, you see the way he leans? They repurposed that into Frontiers, but like as actually part of his moveset now, and they totally they completely revamped his on-foot control. Again, here you're going to want to go up to the top section, but before you go to the topmost section, you're going to want to go down here, collect all of these rings, except you're going to miss 2 of them, for fuck's sake, whatever. Get this Buzz Bomber, miss the Buzz Bomber, do a little off of this, and air boost. I love the way the air boost works. And I'm really upset that Shadow Generations kind of nerfed it a little bit. Not by too much, but still it's not quite how it is here. That was one of my favorite things about this game. Get all these things here, and as you can see, look, I've already spent over 2 minutes. This isn't how you normally play this level, however. Like, your average player would have completed this level twice already. And that's not inherently a problem, it's also a matter of the context, because it's trying to be so epic with this cool music, but then when the level just ends like that, God, it's such a love-hate thing. I told you, this is a game that I can never say I dislike. No matter how many videos Radical Soda remember back when Radical Soda, like, I think does he still make videos? I hope he does, because his stuff is good, you know? It was much more than just the clickbait thumbnails. Like, he has actually very good videos. But when this game came out, he would just not stop. Every fucking video he would do, even if it had nothing to do with Sonic. It could be a video about finding Nemo. It could be a video about the Incredibles. And he would just go, something, and also Sonic Frontiers, Sonic Forces sucks. And back then it used to piss me off. Now it's like, I mean, I understand. But I can never say I dislike this game. It's actually fun when you play it in a specific way, that being either completionist or minimalist. The problem with this game is kind of like Sonic CD, where playing it in an average sort of way isn't as fun. You know, fuck it, I want to do one more level, because they're so damn short, like this one as well. I love the aesthetics of the stage, and in fact, I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. I'm now going to try and play through this level as quickly as possible. Right, so you're going to want to skip over this section, stop here. Oh, fuck, no, restart. We're doing this again. No. I'm showing you how to, look, I may not be Frockenok. He used to do some Sonic speedruns and stuff, and he's really, really good at it. I think does he still hold the world record for Generations? I'm not sure. Anyway, I may not be him, but as you can see, basically you're going to want to skip past, like, most of, this game kind of speedruns itself, honestly. There's so little that you have to do. I remember this game's platforming has often been described as inconsequential. I wouldn't say that's a totally accurate term, but it definitely doesn't have that much going on in that regard. Oh, I missed the... Oh, damn it! I missed the boost capsules, which means now I have to take the slow-ass route. So this is clearly not going to be breaking any world record times, right? But anyway, notice how when you're... What the fuck? Oh, the homing attack is a teeny bit unresponsive in this section. That really pisses me off. Okay, we're going to try this again. We're going to boost through here. We're going to miss those, but that's fine. Keep moving through, and there you go. Get this shortcut right here, because it's actually a really cool little bit. Problem is, you don't really control most of it. Now, I think I can actually air boost. There you go. See, you do that. This game can be quite enjoyable when you just run right through it, just like that. You see? It has those two sides to itself. The fact that it's quite fun when you speedrun the absolute fuck out of it, and it's quite fun when you try and go for everything, as much as the level as you possibly can, trying to get as much out of it as you possibly can. But I don't think a game should ever rely on those two versions of itself to be fun. A game, first and foremost, has to be at its best when you're not necessarily giving your best, when you're just kind of cruising through the game, like Generations. That game is so damn fun to just turn your brain off and just go, and you feel like you've done a lot. Here, you feel like you've done fucking nothing unless you really put the work in. So maybe you could argue it's a better game because of that. I don't know. No, Generations is still so much better, but I can never dislike this game. And it's kind of still fun. I can't say that I ever have a bad time playing this game. It's just that it has these quirks, these oddities with the way that it works and the way it's designed. It's just like, fuck, it's such a middle child, it's such a curious case. And that's why I feel the way I do towards Sonic Forces. Anyway, this has been Focus on B, the video series where I spend 20 or so minutes, this time 24 minutes, Jesus Christ, 25, on a game that I definitely have feelings about. Although I think they lean more towards positive. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna hide it. I still do like this game. As I said a million times, I cannot dislike it. I can't say it's the best game ever, but that's stupid. No game is the best game ever. But fuck it. You know, even in a post-Frontiers world, I think it's still kind of cool. Should you play it? Play it on PC for the mods. 100%. I haven't showcased any mods, but holy shit, the modding scene for this game just goes fucking crazy. Anyway, this has been Sonic Forces, PC, Switch, PS4, Xbox One, 2017.